Coach Todd Hildebrand from the Sanford Spartans getting ready for senior night tonight. It's a Thursday night game, and does that change the tempo of how you prepare for a week's game?
A little bit. I mean, you lose the day. Monday has to be a little more of a practice focus, and when you're dealing with injuries back end of the year, you're managing it anyway. So, a little bit. You're putting more in a shorter amount of time, but at the end of the day, we're at the end of the year here, and we kind of know what we are. I mean, so we might have to deal with some elements with the weather, so they're preparing for that as well.
It's going to be wicked here tonight, but it's football. What is the worst condition that you played in or that you've coached in?
Probably, honestly, my last game I ever played was in Massachusetts. You play a rivalry game on Thanksgiving morning, and we, being from Denver, so we played Gloucester. And they're right on the water, and overnight the field had frozen, so it became essentially basically became an ice rink.
Wow!
So there wasn't too much traction going on, and that's one of my funny, last as a football player. But I've had some cold weather games. The rain makes it more challenging for ball security. It's something that you want to focus on, and if you can win that piece of the game, it oftentimes is going to set you up for the win anyway.
So you're looking at a ground game tonight.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's where it goes, that's where it goes. But we've got to keep honest, honestly, with throwing the football. I've been very impressed with A.J. Cody. He's really developed, especially the last few weeks. Never more than last Friday against Marshwood, where he had himself a day. 8 for 12 for over 200 yards, a touchdown. And he had Drew McGrath, who had 3 catches for 136 and 1 touchdown, and Brady Boysenall chipped in with 2 for 44, and it was a balanced attack. Plus Ricky Callis' 2 rushing touchdowns, which were helpful with getting us back in the game after some special teams mistakes that unfortunately we couldn't overcome. But those kids battled, and they've battled all year, and I'm proud of them for sure. When
those mistakes happen early on, how do you keep everybody in the game mentally so they can physically get back in the game?
Yeah, it's a lot of it. We call the timeout after the second onsides, and really just kind of have to get them back to base, right? In terms of let's catch our breath here, guys. We know what we're able to do here, and it becomes a one play at a time deal where you got to just keep trying to win each of those plays. And we were fortunate, and I was really impressed with our passing game, being able to hit a few chunk plays. We left a few on the field as well, but we did hit a few, and none bigger than the one to Drew up the right sideline.
Yeah,
and
that was killer.
That got us back in there, and then unfortunately, we weren't able to do quite enough in the second half. I loved our ability to come out the way we did come out and drive and score on the first drive right out of halftime. Those are all things that you want to see, and the record has not gone our way throughout the full year, and we wanted better for that regard. But like I told the kids over the last few days, and I'll say it again and again, their effort level and their ability to compete and stick together has really been one of the things that I'll take away from this year. And I'm really proud of them and proud to be their coach for that matter.
There's definitely a new attitude with the team. I think that partially the credit goes to you. It seems like everybody has really bought into the system the second half of the year. Is this something that you guys can take to next year? I know there's a lot of players that are going to be returning, and Sanford looks, at least early here, looks pretty strong for 2026 into 2027.
I believe so. There was a lot of young talent. They were able. A lot of them were able to get some valuable experience this year, led by our quarterback. Led by our offensive line, which is primarily a sophomore run line. We've got 3 sophomores. We've had a freshman be filtered into that as well at center, and so we've got an establishment, especially with our interior lines, that really can help become a foundation piece for us. A returning starter and AJ, a quarterback, and working with quarterbacks as much as I have, I've seen it happen with many of these kids that when they start as juniors, by about halfway through that junior year, you start to see that development really show itself, and that's what's happening with him, and it's happening with other guys that I've worked with, and I'm excited to see where this can go for him. And we will be replacing some running backs here, with Jaden Franco and Ricky Callis moving on from with graduation, and that's gonna be a spot that we want to be able to find and fill those important spots as well. And so, but I see defensively as well, Logan Sivney has really come along this year. including 2 sacks just last Friday. And so he's really going to be a big core piece to what we do, along with Michael Kiley and a few other guys that that they know who they are. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this opportunity, obviously, to build this now with a full off season, ideally. And let's really kind of keep that positive momentum going. And those positive vibes usually go into the summer, and then obviously into the season. And when those games are tight, they're hopefully coming on where we're going to get the win this time.
All right, so, Coach Todd Hildebrand, you're going to celebrate here tonight, hopefully after a game with Massabesic. It's a rivalry with the Stangs and all the action right here on Seacoast Oldies. Thank you so much for being generous with your time throughout the season, and good luck tonight.
Thank you, Andy. We'll do our best to get a win here on senior night.